Hello, fellow collectors. Today we're going to be talking about DC Multiverse Man-Bat. Now, this is a mega figure. As you can see, it is a rather large one. And you can see this is part of the DC Rebirth. So on the back, we have Man-Bat here with lots and lots of bats. And we have the Batman there. And if you look right over here, we can see a mysterious character. Who is it? And on this side, we have Man-Bat. So if I take my scale out, put him on the scale, we can see this guy is coming in at 2 pounds, 3.6 ounces. So let's get Man-Bat out and see what Dr. Langstrom is doing. Okay, now that we have Dr. Langstrom out of his package, we can look at the card. Here is the card, the artwork from the actual box. On the back here, we see his data file. Please pause to read. Now, the first thing I will say about this figure, it is very top heavy. And the ankles are not designed to hold that weight. Yes, great articulation, great everything, but if the weight can't be supported on little bitty ankles, then limit the ankle movement to allow a sturdier figure. So as you can see, he probably will be falling down a lot during this review. So as I'm sitting here holding him up, we can see he is a very big guy. And what I mean by that is he is around 8 3/4 inches tall. So that means he will be massive on your shelf or wherever you decide to display him. So as we look here, we have all this wonderful fur and detail on this guy. That is one of the aspects of this figure that people really like. The amount of detail that goes into these figures is just awesome. It just really is. I've never been disappointed with McFarlane's level of detail. So as we can see, his pants here have tears, fabric folds, a lot of good detail in them. Here's his feet. Here's his arms and chest. And there's that head of his. Very menacing figure, right? I love the paint apps in here for his ears that extend to his gum and mouth. Very, very nice. Now, his wrists don't have any articulation in them, and his elbows only have a single bend. And when you see that, whenever you bend it, you do get a little bit of continuation of the wing. Now, his arms do allow a full rotation of movement, and they do a nice T-pose. Now, there's no bicep swivel here, but the head has this bit of fur around it, and you can see it goes up and down, left and right. without issues. It just can only go up that far and down that far, but I think it's very nice. Still a lot of movement for something this thick in the neck. Now he has ab crunch forward and back, you can see here, and it does have a waist swivel as well as the ab crunch swivel. His legs can come out to that far and does a pretty good walk pose. Now his legs are always bent, so you'll only get a little bit of movement out of that double hinge, but you really get a good amount of movement. Even though I complained about the ankles, you'll see it is on a ball jointed hinge. Here's the hinge, here's the ball joint, and we also have this toe bend. Now, if this would have been a solid piece, it probably would have been a little bit more sturdier, or this is a solid piece and just allowed that. But as you can see, you might need to get some nail polish or something to get in between these cracks that just thicken them up a little bit. Now there has been a couple of earlier iterations of the Man-Bat. The first one I'll bring in is the DC Universe Classics Man-Bat. You can see here how he stacks up and the color schemes for that. Definitely the new version is more menacing. And then we have the Son of Batman versions. You can see here from the Ninja Bats. And you can see that this guy is still the king and the new crown champion of the bats. Now this guy is also pretty thick. This arm here, if we were to look at it, you have 8 inches. So 8 inches just for this arm piece. So I mean, if you look at, and earlier I said 8.5 or 8 3/4 inches. And so if you look at that 8 inches, his arm is almost as tall as he is. But whenever you look at this right here, if I do a straight arm, it's coming up to 10 inches. So that 2 inches here really makes a difference. So depending on how you want to display this guy, with his arms out, arms up, something like that, just beware, he is going to take up some shelf space. Very nice character, but definitely a space hog. So, if you're looking for this, guys, take a look around. Amazon, Entertainment Earth, Big Bad Toy Store, see if you can still find them. And as always, like, subscribe, and keep collecting.